the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Heavenly Father, we thank you for everyone gathered here today. May we ask you for your blessing and guidance so that the activity set today be done successfully. We also pray that you will keep us all safe. We ask all this in the glorious name of Jesus. Amen. Once again, good morning and welcome to the bid opening of 3 civil works projects and 4 requests for quotation and pre-bid conference for 1 goods. May I introduce now the members of the BAC headed by our BAC chairman, Attorney Clarence Fernando, BAC vice chairman, Engineer Arturo Preposi, and members, Attorney Mary Rose Milo, Engineer Wheeler Vince, and Engineer Dexter Cabanel. We also have here the technical working group headed by Engineer Rachel Nomagi and members in Architect Donald Remando, Engineer Alan Hufana, Engineer Romel Ibay, and for the Bank Secretariat, yours truly, Maria Pisa J. Marquez. For the IT support, we have Sir Von Kawit. Sir, all the bank members are present. It's a quorum.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat para let's look at the timeline. Our bank member, Engineer Dexter Cabanel, is just outside. He'll be attending later on. So we have a quorum. We have full attendance and these proceedings are called to order. We have the bid opening for 3 civil works projects and 4 under RFQ. And later on, we'll be having our private conference for, I think we also have credit for just 1 group. Okay. So we'll have here our participating leaders and probably we have also our prospective leader for that 1 group and our observers, of course. Let us acknowledge their presence, please.
For the observer, sir, we have via Zoom, Sir Jose. We have Sir Raul Moster from Bantay Lansangan and the Executive Director of CCWI, Ma'am Margareta P. Fernandez, and also from CCWI, Ma'am Vanessa Lacuesta and Ma'am Jocelyn C. For the bidder, sir, we have via Zoom for RFQ 2025-12.078, Ma'am Judea Fernandez from Anglo Wealth Enterprises.
Hello po, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
For 25A00447, we have Ma'am Orchid Pearl Kayabia and Maria Leia Villar from RU Aquino Construction and Development Corporation. Ma'am Eileen Narvaez from 10-02 Enterprises Company Incorporated. For 25A00555, Ma'am Mary Jane Gallardo from City Leoncio Construction and Trading. Sir Arjun Dave Puntura from Syntype Construction Corporation. And for 25A00556, we have from Jomarcan General Construction, Sir Ian Paul Horalbal, Sir Mark Kabutahe, and Sir Brandon Apils. From JHI, Sir Romilo Agustin and Sir Arjun Day Edpura. That's all, sir.
Okay, everybody's clear. May we invite our observers that us open our book.
to confirm the submitted bids for 2025-02-063, no bidder. For 2025-11-071, one lone bidder. For 2025-12-077, rebid, lone bidder. 2025-12-078, rebid, two bidders. For 25A00447, rebid, two bidders. 25A00555, two bidders. 25A00556, three bidders. Well accounted, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. As for the other RFQ, the one who we received no submission. May we request the secretary let us again conduct the application.
Noted.
Then the members of the BAT will now conduct the preliminary examination of all the submitted proposals. We start with our RFQs, followed by the civil works contracts. Simultaneously, we'll be announcing the results of our evaluation later on by our secretary. We proceed. By the way, our activities being live streamed by Transparency Portal and also in our, we still have our YouTube. Yes, everybody can watch our proceedings.
Permission to read the result for RFQ, sir. For the preliminary examination of request for quotation for RFQ 2025-11-071 for the loan bidder, we have Jilil Gen Enterprises, failed, no attached business permit and field debt registration certificate.
Right, any representative from the supplier? Our representative. All right, so will not be reading the offered amount as the submitted documents are not complete. We declare a failure of bidding for this particular RFQ. We prepared the necessary documentations for the declaration of failures.
Noted. For 2025-11-077 for the loan bidder. For the preliminary examination, we have Dogman Enterprises. Passed the preliminary examination of request for quotation, and the total amount of bid as read is 974,900 pesos. The overall rating for Dogman Enterprises passed.
Thank you. We request our technical working group to conduct the detailed evaluation of submitted proposal.
for the preliminary examination of request for quotation for RFQ 2025-12-078 rebid. We have two bidders. First is Anglo-Wealth Enterprises, passed the preliminary examination of request for quotation, and the total amount of bid as read is 700,400 pesos. The overall rating for Anglo-Wealth Enterprises, pass. Next, we have Dogman Enterprises, passed the preliminary examination of request for quotation, and the total amount of bid as read is 992,170 pesos. The overall rating for Dogman Enterprises, pass. That's also for RFQ 2025-12-073.
Thank you, Secretary. Any comment from our suppliers? Or servers? Right, may we again request our technical working group for the conduct of the detailed evaluation from the submitted proposals.
Sir, may we acknowledge the presence of our observer via Zoom, Sir Jose Meido III from NACAP.
Yeah, good morning, sir. And welcome po.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Good morning to the back in TWG. My apologies for the on and off intermittent connection, but I've been listening and I've been seeing everything has been in order so far.
Yes, sir. Good morning.
And also observer for 25800447 from Mariano Marcos State University, Architect Aida Habang.
Morning, ma'am, and welcome sa atin pong bid opening.
Good morning po.
Morning. Thank you for your attendance.
Thank you so much.
for the preliminary examination of technical proposal for contract ID number 25A00447 Rebid. We have two bidders. First is 10.02 Enterprises Company Incorporated and PIJ Construction Incorporated joint venture passed the preliminary examination of technical proposal, and for the result of the CWA, the joint venture passed the technical and financial aspect as well as legal aspect. And the form of bid security submitted is bid securing declaration. Next, RU Aquino Construction and Development Corporation. Failed. Expired tax clearance valid until December 12, 2025. No attached affidavit of disclosure of no relationship. Sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership, and latest GIS. You may now open the financial component of the joint venture.
Please include the complete reason for the declaration of eligibility. Any comment from the representative from RU Aquino Construction Corporation? All right, so as manifested by the representative from RU Aquino Construction Corporation, they will be filing a motion for reconsideration. So in this sense, we'll be securing the financial component of the bid for the evaluation of the motion for reconsideration, subject to deliberation and decision of the bids and rights committee. Please, the Secretariat, the financial component, the securing now.
for the preliminary examination of technical proposal for 25A00555, we have two bidders. First is City Leoncio Construction and Trading, passed the preliminary examination of technical proposal, and for the result of the CWA, City Leoncio Construction and Trading passed the technical and financial aspects as well as legal aspect. And the form of bid security submitted is bid securing declaration. Next, Syntype Construction Corporation failed. Pickup registration particulars is not valid until October 16, 2025. You may now open the financial component of the one eligible bidders.
Thank you. Any comment from the representative from Syntype Construction Corporation? Let us double check the second original copy. Based from the electronic eligibility conducted by it's in our scope, the same result yields that the pickup registration is not valid. So just to confirm, but the result on the manual submission and on the eligibility. All right. But members? We also have here another original copy, so we can verify. But nonetheless, the decision stands, and the representative from the infrastructure corporation will be filing a motion for reconsideration. So in that case, we'll again be securing the financial performance. So we'll just be checking, but the decision will stand subject to the motion for reconsideration.
Okay.
That's all. Okay. Deny pa rin yun sa ano. So we'll be checking the pickup registration particulars. So it's just to say the registration particulars for pickup number 11597 for Syntype Construction Corporation is valid until October 16, 2025. See, yeah. But nonetheless, as manifested, we will be filing a motion for consideration. We again secure the financial component. Okay, so. Maybe you'll find.
For the preliminary examination of technical proposal for 25A00556, we have three bidders. First is Jomarcan General Construction. Passed the preliminary examination of technical proposal, and for the result of DCWA, Jomarcan General Construction passed the technical and financial aspects as well as legal aspect. And the form of bid security submitted is bid securing declaration. Next, Type Construction Corporation failed. Pickup registration particulars is not valid until October 16, 2025.
For this particular contract, we have the same registration check. So we are going to secure the financial component for the disposition of the motion for consideration.
Next, JHI Construction and Supply. Passed the preliminary examination of technical proposal, and for the result of the CWA, JHI Construction and Supply passed the technical and financial aspects as well as legal aspect. And the form of bid security submitted is bid securing declaration. You may now open the financial proposal for the two eligible for 25A00556. for the examination of financial proposal for 25A00447 for 10-02 Enterprises Company Incorporated and TIJ Construction Incorporated joint venture. Pass the preliminary examination of financial proposal and the total amount of bid as read is 451,371,028 pesos and 75 centavos. The overall rating for the joint venture passed. That's all, sir, for 25A00447.
May we hear a comment from our observer from Mariano Marcos, ma'am? Any comment po? From our observers?
Yes po.
Yes, ma'am. So we have here, ma'am.
We just
the,
proceed, sir. I'll just check po. If we will just proceed po. Thank you.
Thank you po. So we have here the initial result of our preliminary examination, declaring 10-02 Enterprises Corporation Incorporated, joint venture with TIJ Construction Incorporated, as of this time, as the loan eligible bidder, subject of course to the disposition of the motion for consideration as requested by the representative from ROI, offering an amount of 451,371,028 pesos and 75 centavos. May we again request our technical working group for the conduct of the detailed evaluation and further subject to the participating bidder to the possible bidding. We proceed to the next.
For the preliminary examination of financial proposal for 25A00555, we have City Leon Construction and Trading passed the preliminary examination of financial proposal and the total amount of bid as read is 121,011,769 pesos and 36 centavos. The overall rating for City Leon Construction and Trading pass. That's all, sir, for 25A00555.
Thank you, Risa. Again, any comment from our observers? So the same situation here, we have two participating bidder, but one only passed our technical requirements, but the representative from Simtech Construction Corporation manifested that they will be filing a motion for consideration. So this time we have City Lodge Construction and Trading as the sole qualified bidder, offering an amount of 121,011,769 pesos and 36 centavos. Again, subject to the detailed evaluation to be conducted by our technical working.
Morning po. Morning po. Sa bidding po ako. Sa bidding? Opo.
Hinakap.
For the preliminary examination of financial proposal for the two eligible bidders for 25A00556. First, we have Dumarcan General Construction passed the preliminary examination of financial proposal and the total total amount of bid as read is 127,397,025 pesos and 51 centavos with the discount of 12.05%. We have we have 112,045,683 pesos and 94 centavos. The overall rating for the 12.05% of the amount of bid is 15,351,341 pesos and 57 centavos. And the final bid as read is 112,045,683 pesos and 94 centavos. The overall rating for Dumarcan General Construction passed. Next, JHI Construction and Supply passed the preliminary examination of financial proposal and the total amount of bid as read is 121,063,263 pesos and 71 centavos. The overall rating for JHI Construction and Supply passed. That's also for 25A00556.
Any comment from our observers? Okay, it's fine. Ika.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, well.
Mr. Chair, for NACAP,
sir.
Everything is in order. No irregularities.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, po. But to pick up registration. Pick up registration. I'm taking two shots. Recommend. Somebody is not. Not get it. So we can. Thank you, Sir Jose, for the comment. Any more comment from our observers? From our participating leaders? Again, the technical working group is directed to please conduct the detailed evaluation. As for this particular contract, we have Jumarcan General Construction as the lowest bidder as read. Again, subject to the results of the detailed evaluation and cost qualification. Board members, any comment? DPWH. So we're concluding our proceeding for the bid opening, and we'll be proceeding to the Rebid conference for our next project. I'll be turning over the microphone to our vice chair as the temporary presiding officer, as I have an appointment that will
Let's start the presentation for the Rebid conference for 24A00501 with the contract data. Contract name, Basic Infrastructure Program, Construction of Multi-Purpose Building, NBI Regional Office, San Fernando City, La Union. Funding source, SR 2024-04-014612 with an APC of 41,348,049 pesos and 32 centavos. Scope of works, concrete works, masonry and plastering works, roofing works, tile works, ceiling works, painting works at walls and ceiling, tinsmithry works, fabrication of doors and windows, electrical, plumbing, fire protection works, supply and installation of air conditioning units, supply and installation of fire protection system with a contract duration of 180 calendar days. For the technical component envelope, we have the legal documents, valid field depth registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages in accordance with section 8.5.2 of the IRR. The statement of the prospective bidder for all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid, and statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract or the SLCC similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided under the rules, and special pickup license in case of joint ventures, and registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid, and original copy of bid security. If in the form of a surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration. And project requirements, we shall include the following: organizational chart for the contract to be bid, list of contractors, key personnel, of demand power, project manager, project engineers, materials engineers, and foreman, to be assigned to the contract to be bid with their complete qualification and experience data, list of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, leased, and or under purchase agreements, supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project as the case may be. And original duly signed omnibus sworn statement, and if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney of all members of the joint venture giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the omnibus sworn statement and to act to represent the bidder. Sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership, latest general information sheet reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly received by the Securities and Exchange Commission for corporations. We have here the memo directive to require submission of general information sheet reflecting beneficial ownership information and sworn affidavit of eligibility, and the DO 110 series of 2024. The financial documents, we have the prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity or the NFCC for Class B documents if applicable, duly signed joint venture agreement in accordance with RA number 4566 and its IRR in the case of the joint venture is already in existence, or duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the instance that the bid is successful. original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form, and we have the other documentary requirements under RA number 9184. We have original of duly signed bid prices in the bill of quantities and duly accomplished detailed estimate forms, including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid and cash flow by quarter. For the eligible bidders, only bids found to be legally and technically financially eligible will be evaluated. For procurement of goods, the following persons shall be eligible to participate in this bidding: duly licensed Filipino citizens or sole proprietorships, partnerships duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and of which at least 60% of the interest belongs to citizens of the Philippines. Corporations duly organized under the laws of the Philippines and of which at least 60% of the outstanding capital stock belongs to citizens of the Philippines. Cooperatives duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and persons or entities forming themselves into a joint venture, a group of two or more persons or entities that intend to be jointly and severally responsible or liable for a particular contract, provided, however, that in accordance with relevant laws, rules, and regulations, Filipino ownership or interest of the joint venture concerned shall be at least 60%, provided further that the joint ventures in which Filipino ownership or interest is less than 60% may be eligible, where the structures to be built require the application of technologies which are not adequately possessed by a person or entity meeting the 60% Filipino ownership requirement. Provided furthermore that in the latter case, Filipino ownership or interest shall not be less than 25%. For this purpose, Filipino ownership or interest shall be based on the contributions of each of the member of the joint venture as specified in their joint venture agreement, provided finally that the primary purpose of each member of the joint venture must be similar or related to the requirement of the project to be bid out. In accordance with RA number 4566 or the Contractors License Law as amended by RA number 11711 or an act further amending Republic Act number 4566, the persons or entities enumerated in Section 52 of the IRR may participate in the procurement of infrastructure projects if it has been issued a license by the Philippine Contractors Accreditation Board to engage or act as a contractor. The bidder must have completed an SLCC that is similar to the procurement project to be bid and whose value must be equivalent to at least 50% of the ADC, adjusted to current prices using the Philippine Statistic Authority Consumer Price Indices, provided that any change to the 50% requirement may be allowed, subject to the recommendation of the procuring entity, which shall be submitted to the DPWH for consideration. Provided further that contractors under small A and small B categories without similar experience on the procurement project to be bid may be allowed to bid if the cost of such contract is not more than the allowable range of contract cost of the registration based on the guidelines as prescribed by the PCAB. Moreover, a contract shall be considered similar to the procurement project if it has the same major categories of work. The procuring entity may clarify in the bidding documents that what is regarded as major categories of work, guided by the principle of proportionality and fit for purpose approach. The SLCC shall be supported by an owner's certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES or a similar performance and monitoring system. In the case of contracts with the private sector, an equivalent document shall be submitted. The computation of a bidder's NFCC must be at least equal to the ABC to be calculated as follows. NFCC is equal to the current assets minus current liabilities times 15 minus the value of all outstanding or uncompleted portions of the projects under ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts yet to be started coinciding with the procurement project to be bid, provided that a different formula may be adopted subject to the recommendation of the procuring entity, which shall be submitted to the GPPB for consideration. The value of the domestic bidder's current assets and current liabilities shall be based on the latest AFS submitted to the BIR. For the purpose of computing the foreign bidder's NFCC, the value of the current assets and current liabilities shall be based on their latest AFS prepared in accordance with international financial reporting standards. For the form of bid security, we have bid validity period 120 calendar days from the date of submission of bids. Bid security validity period 120 calendar days from the date of submission of bids. We have here the form of bid security and the amount of bid security not less than % of the ABC. Cash or cashier's manager's check issued by a bank 2%, bank draft or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit issued by a bank, provided however that it shall be confirmed or authenticated by a local bank if issued by a foreign bank 5%, surety bond callable upon demand issued by a surety or insurance company duly certified by the insurance on as authorized to issue such security 5%, bid securing declaration not applicable. For the major categories of work, we have BICWO PLC, building construction without piles, low-rise concrete frame 1 to 5 stories. Contract similar to the project shall be those described as follows: BICWPH CCP, BICWPH CCP 16, BICWPLCCP, BICWPH CDP, BICWPH CD16, BICWPLCDP, BICWOPHC, BICWOPH 16, BICWPM-CDP, BICWPM-CCP, and BICWOPMC. For the bid evaluation, the detailed evaluation and comparison of bids, the procuring entity's evaluation of bids shall be based on the bid price quoted in the form, which includes the bill of quantities. The procuring entity will undertake the detailed evaluation and comparison of the bids, which have passed the opening and preliminary examination of bids pursuant to ITD Clause 22 to determine the lowest calculated bid. The award criterion shall be determined as follows. For lowest calculated bid, the detailed evaluation of the financial component of the bid to establish the correct calculated prices of the bids and the ranking of the total bid prices as so calculated from the lowest to highest, where the bid with the lowest price shall be identified as the lowest calculated bid. For the post-qualification, the bank shall determine to its satisfaction whether the bidder that is evaluated as having submitted the lowest calculated bid complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions specified in ITP Clause 5 and 12. The bidder within a non-extendable period of 5 calendar days from receipt of notice from the bank that is submitted, the LCB shall submit all the eligibility documents supporting its PhilJF certificate of registration or platinum membership, its latest income and business tax returns filed for the preceding quarter, which should not be earlier than 2 quarters from the date of submission and receipt of bid, and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the bid doc. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time or a finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that a finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cause the forfeiture of the bid security. The determination shall be based upon an examination of the documentary evidence of the bidder's qualification submitted pursuant to ITB Clause 12, as well as other information as the procuring entity deems necessary and appropriate, using a non-discretionary pass or fail criterion which shall be completed within a period of 12 calendar days. If the BAC determines that the bidder with the lowest calculated bid passes all the criteria for post-qualification, it shall declare the said bid as the lowest calculated responsive bid and recommend to the hope the award of contract to the said bidder at its submitted bid price or its calculated bid price, whichever is lower, or in the case of quality-based evaluation procedure, submitted bid price or its negotiated price, whichever is lower. If, however, the bank determines that the bidder with the lowest calculated bid fails to meet the post-qualification criteria, it shall immediately notify the bidder in writing of its post-disqualification and the grounds for such determination. Immediately after the bank has notified the first bidder of its disqualification and notwithstanding any pending request for reconsideration thereof, the bank shall initiate and complete the same post-qualification process on the bidder with the second LCB. If the second bidder passes the post-qualification and provided that the request for reconsideration of the first bidder has been denied, the second bidder shall be post-qualified as the bidder with the lowest calculated bid. The second bidder, however, fails the post-qualification, the procedure for post-qualification shall be repeated for the bidder with the next LCB and so on, until the LCRB, as the case may be, is determined for award subject to the procedure of notice and execution of award. Within a period not exceeding 10 calendar days from determination by the bank of the LCRB and the recommendation to award the contract, the hope or its duly authorized representative shall approve and or disapprove the said recommendation. In case of approval, the hope or its duly authorized representative shall immediately issue the notice of award to the bidder with the lowest calculated responsive bid. In the event that the approving authority shall disapprove the resolution on the award of the contract, such disapproval shall be based only on valid, reasonable, and justifiable grounds as enumerated under Section 70 of the IRR to be expressed in writing. A copy of the decision of disapproving the resolution shall be furnished to the bank and the bidder. For the contract award, subject to ITB Clause 26, the hope or its duly authorized representative shall award the contract to the bidder whose bid has been determined to be the LCRB. Prior to the expiration of the period of bid validity, the procuring entity shall notify the winning bidder in writing that its bid has been accepted through a notice of award duly received by the bidder or its representative personally or by registered mail or electronically, receipt of which must be confirmed in writing within 2 days by the bidder with the LCRB and submitted personally or sent by registered mail or electronically to the procuring entity. Following are the list of additional contract documents relevant to the project that may be required by existing laws and or the procuring entity. The notice of award with the bidder's signed conformity, performance security in any of the forms specified in the instruction to bidders, construction method, construction schedule in the form of precedence diagram, bar chart with escrow and cash flow. manpower schedule, equipment utilization schedule, construction safety and health program, contractors all risk insurance, certification under the oath stating that the contractor is free and clean of all tax liabilities. Within 10 calendar days from receipt by the winning bidder of the notice of award, the following conditions should be complied with before the contract may be awarded. Submission of the following documents, valid JDA if applicable, the SEC registration of the SEC certificate of registration of the foreign corporation if applicable, or the valid pickup license and registration for the type and cost of the project for foreign bidders when the treaty or international or executive agreement expressly allows submission of such license and registration as a precondition to the notice of award. Posting of the performance security in accordance with ITB Clause 30 and signing of the contract as provided in ITB Clause 29. Reminder for 24A-00501 Rebid, the deadline for submission of clarification 10 days before submission of bids. Deadline for submission of bids, December 29, 2025 at 10 a.m. Number of copies of bid proposal, 2 copies of the first and second component of its bid. The place of submission of bids, Bids and Awards Committee, second floor conference room, DPWH Regional Office I, City of San Fernando, La Union. That's all, sir, for the presentation.
Thank you, Krisa, for the presentation. Please take note, after Christmas, we still have bid opening on December 29. Yes. Any more on our agenda at this? Any comment? I don't know. December 29 sa atin dito. That's conclude the proceedings for today. We have the bid opening for civil works and RFQ, and we just concluded pre conference. Thank you, Bank member, DWG, IT, Secretariat, and to our observers. Thank you very much. The proceedings for the day is now adjourned. Happy New Year.